Hey everybody, it's Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. How is everybody doing? I wanted to do a quick video en route to drop my daughter off at school and to my office, but I won't have any time today in my office to do videos, and so I decided to come on while I'm driving. So forgive me if I don't look directly into the camera. I am driving, but I wanted to come and let's talk about like the narcissist with their lack of accountability or their lack of responsibility. We're taking accountability. So we know that when you're dealing with a narcissist, especially like, I have the overt lower grade narcissist in mind. And, when you're dealing with the lower grade overt narcissist, they're the ones that are usually just out of control. These are the ones that you'll normally see with domestic violent cases, physical abuse, police being called on them all the time. The narcissist already doesn't like to follow rules. They already don't like to, they play by their own rules. They emphasize rules and they tell you to follow the rules, but they don't follow the rules. So what the kids will call, what we will call a hypocrite, so they give you the rules to follow, but they don't follow their own rules. And when you're dealing with the lower range narcissist, they're the ones that are kind of out of control, they're out of control. So those are the ones that they have not learned how, or they haven't mastered their manipulation yet. And so they're the ones, they like the feeling that they get from the power and control that they impose on other people. To get what they want, they yell, they scream, they hit, they choke, they commit physical violence, they take away. They're the ones that they're at the extreme. As they go up the scale of narcissism, up that spectrum, that's when they learn, by being around different people, by being around different types of socioeconomic statuses, they learn to taper or to temperance. I'm not even going to say temperance because they lack self-control, but they learn how to manipulate without being overt as they are. That's how some of them end up becoming from overt to covert narcissists, because they realize that they have more power and control if they calm down a little bit in what they're doing. So a lot of them, they'll blow up behind closed doors, but that's not what you see on the outside. And so you have, for some of you that have lived with narcissists, family and friends I can't believe that this person will be like that. You're lying, and that's not true, and that's not what they're like. And, but now some family members much rather push them into your court than to handle them themselves. And I'm talking about mothers and fathers and aunts and uncles and sisters and brothers. They know how this individual is, and they much rather you as the partner, husband or wife, to deal with that narcissist than for them to have to deal with that narcissist. Now, some of you guys are parents of narcissists. So some of your children have narcissistic personality disorder. And the heartbreaking part of it all is that many of you who have learned about it are starting to understand the behaviors of the narcissist. And the hurtful thing for some people that are not connected, that they don't have a connection with a narcissist, they don't have a family tie with a narcissist besides being a partner or a lover or a husband or a wife, that is a different type of dynamic than when you are a parent of a narcissist and having to listen or watch their behaviors and how they conduct themselves, and you blame yourselves a lot because you're trying to figure out, how did this happen? How did I play a role in this? What if I would have? I wish I could have stopped this, and a lot of them, if you look at the narcissists and you look at their patterns. Now, of course, I told you guys before, and you hear a lot, not all narcissists have been physically abused. But if you look at the narcissist on the scale of the, in the cluster B personality disorders, the narcissist has had some type of trauma. And when I say some type of trauma, over-parenting or under-parenting, or the narcissist putting the child as the golden child and making them seem like they're the special child in order to get them to do what they want them to do, that is abuse in itself, emotional abuse in itself. And then on top of that, when you have children that come out of homes with narcissistic parents, that parent is fighting the other parent back through the child. And so they'll love, bomb that child. They'll love bomb that child. So they take that child on an emotional roller coaster. I love you. I give you money. I buy you this. I do this and do this and this. And it's not for the simple fact that they love the child, but they're trying to win the child's loyalty over to them. And some of you guys know that's where that term parental alienation comes, when they pull that child away from you and get them to show loyalty to them. A narcissist does not have the capacity of loving and bonding with anybody. Even though it feels good, a child doesn't realize, that parent is disordered. And so they fall for the love bomb just like you fall for the love bomb, because their emotions are wide open. That narcissist knows what to say because that's a child. And so that narcissist knows what to say to make that child feel great about themselves. They know how to mirror the child, so they'll take upon that child's language. Their antics, the things that they talk about, they watch them, they listen, and they pull them, but they're doing it to hurt the other parent. So now here's these narcissists. So now you may have might develop a narcissist. Then you have the ones that I have met, the ones that I've had the opportunity, some of them, to talk to throughout my military career that I didn't realize were narcissists. People that I have met in general. I'm a very analytic person, so I'm always trying, okay, something's wrong with your behavior, or even in a clinical setting. Majority of the ones that I have met all have been physically or sexually abused or assaulted. And what ends up happening is that defense mechanism turns inside out. And so they become self-destructive. And everything that they do is selfish reasons why they do everything. They connect with people for selfish motives. They do it to gratify themselves, their children to gratify themselves, lovers or wives, husbands to gratify themselves and make themselves feel better. And so, they don't take accountability for nothing. So any kind of mistake that they would make, something as simple as constructive criticism, and we give people constructive criticism, especially if you have a business, if you're a supervisor, if you worked in the job. Yes, there's a way of relaying information. However, it is important that, when you have a supervisor or manager, or some of you guys are owners of business, it is very, very important that if you care about the people that work for you and you want to see them progress and to mature, or just like with my mentor, she wants to see us grow. You never sense any jealousy behind anything that she does, and she will put you in your place. She'll let you know. She gives you constructive criticism. For some people who have been abused by parental figures or people in parental roles, they don't take constructive criticism as constructive criticism. They take constructive criticism as, you're badgering me, you're talking about me, you're trying to make me look bad, you're trying to make me feel bad, you're attacking me, and for those people that have come out of homes like that, that's how they feel. They're very sensitive to criticism and constructive criticism. So imagine a narcissist who has been abused, rejected, or neglected. Anything, that because remember, they present themselves as being perfect. They're perfectly smart, they're perfect, they're beautiful, they're handsome, they're productive, they do all these things, buy big homes, all these cars and jewelry, and make themselves look like something that they're not, while they're really struggling, or the people that are with them are struggling to maintain this lifestyle so that people can see this, because it's an image. So remember, my book is called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection, because when you start unmasking it, you'll find out that this narcissist has a low self-esteem, and they're very wounded individuals. However, you empaths have to be very careful, because you absorb, you want to fix, you want to help, you want to, there are some times that you have to learn how to walk away. And for some of you, I don't have it in me to walk away. That's what's causing your demise. That's what's causing you to be all over the place. That's what's causing you more heartache, because you have to learn not to absorb. That's where the super empath comes in, because they know not to absorb everything, and they're careful at not to absorb everything, and they know when to walk away. Though it hurts them, they know when to walk away and leave it alone. And for most people dealing with a narcissist, they don't know when to leave it alone or walk away. And so with that narcissist, he's going to, or she's going to play on your emotions. They're going to play on your sensitivity. They're going to play on the goodness of your heart to want to help, because they're going to make themselves always be the victim. And so you give them constructive criticism about anything, about something that they're wearing, how their clothes looks. And you may not mean it in a mean way. You may say something about their hair, or, that outfit doesn't look good on you, or, why don't you go and get get another card, that doesn't suit you. Anything that sounds beyond what their perception of perfection is about themselves, you are attacking them. So they have to attack you back. They don't take accountability. So if they make mistakes, it's always everybody else's fault but theirs. For example, we know, for those of you that have learned, those of you that have not, that are still learning about the narcissist, when you deal with that lower range narcissist will drive you crazy, because they get to a point, they're irritating, they're annoying, they're abusive, they won't shut up, they won't stop talking, they whatever they have to do to force you to change your mind, they're gonna do it. They keep coming in. If you say right and they say left, but right is the direction you need to go, they'll keep harassing you and changing the situation and changing the conversation and changing the perspective, and they keep talking and talking and talking until they force you to change your mind. And then when you change your mind, then they'll leave you alone. And guess what they do? Then they give you everything that they denied you of, because they punish you by taking away affection. They punish you by taking away attention, giving you the silent treatment, not saying anything. And then the moment that you finally change your mind and decide, this is too much, I'm just going to agree to make them shut up and go away, then they provide you with affection, they give you hugs, then they reward you. They reward you, and in your heart, that's not what you wanted. That's not what you wanted to do. Well, with that lower narcissist, for those of you that have learned about the lower narcissist, and especially those of you that are parents of narcissists, forgive the cars, there's a lot of cars, but those of you that are parents of narcissists, the heartbreaking part is that's your child. That's your child, and it's very hard to walk away or to step back when that child is abusing you as a parent. When that child, 5 minutes into the conversation, you can almost clock it, they're going to cuss you out. 5 minutes into any conversation, doesn't matter. Even, you go to a family reunion, a family gathering, you get around them, you already know within 5, you can feel it elevating. You can feel the tension. You can feel it elevating. Within that 5 minutes, it never fails. They're going to cuss you out. They're going to make a scene. They're going to ruin the day for everybody. And the sad part about it is that when people are aware of their behaviors, there are some people that choose not to be around that narcissist. And so the sad part about it is that family and friends kind of withdraw away from that narcissist, or withdraw away from that lower narcissist, because they don't want drama. I don't want my holidays ruined. I'm not coming if they're going to be there. I can only stay for a little while, and to that narcissist is just that feeling of rejection and abandonment all over again. And what they don't realize, or what they don't take into consideration, which they don't, because they're going to blame everybody. Everybody's always leaving, and we're supposed to be family, and y'all act like you care, but you don't, and you guys are hypocrites, and you this. But they never take in perspective that my behavior is causing you guys not to be around. My behavior and the things that I do, their whole thing is, I'm going to tell it like it is. You just don't want to hear it. You just don't want to hear, okay, there's a way to say a lot of things. There's a way to say things in respect. There's a way to convey a message, but then you have to remember that a narcissist hold grudges forever. They hold grudges forever. They'll keep bringing up stuff from 20, 30 years ago that have not been resolved, that you have apologized for, or people have apologized for. I was young, I didn't know any better, and I apologized, but they never let it go. Once you have apologized, you have done your part. You should not have to live your life obligated to every time you see them, you owe them an apology. But they feel entitled. They feel like, because you hurt me, I am entitled, and you are obligated to allow me to talk to you any kind of way I want to. And I'm going to keep bringing this up. That's called unforgiveness. And so when they cannot forget, and they'll bring it up 20, 30 years, every time you go somewhere, it's always the exact same thing, because they haven't let it go. They haven't forgiven, and they won't. They hold grudges. And think about it. So they hold so many grudges against so many people that oftentimes it slips out in the wrong conversation. They're going off on a parent, and really they need to be going off on a wife. Or it may be something that they were offended by the parent, so the wife ends up taking the heat of the abuse, and she's trying to figure out, or the husband's trying to figure out, where did this come from? I don't know. And then for some that are overt narcissists, that are on the some that are on the lower end of the narcissistic scale, you can almost tell who they got into an argument with by how they're having a conversation with you. They get in a conversation with their boo thing, their husbands, their wives, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, or whatever, their partners, and they're speaking to a parent, and everything that they're saying, it makes you feel like, okay, wait a minute, I'm not your husband, I'm not your wife. Well, who are you talking to? You know that the person that they last talked to and got agitated was the loved one, was the partner, was the husband and wife. And so for some of you that are learning, it's very hard and it's complex because that is your child and you love your child. And it's heartbreaking because you don't know what to do to fix it. You don't know how to save them. You don't know how to, and as a parent, we want to save our children. Of course we do. As a parent, we love our children. We hate to see them suffer. As a parent, we can look at a narcissist and you have the compassion for them and you feel so sorry for them. You feel so bad. You empathize with them, you sympathize with them, and you hate to see, how much potential they have and how they're going downward, on a downward slope. You're watching them as they're just self-sabotaging and people are getting away from them and they burn bridges. They end up having nowhere to stay. They end up homeless. They end up, and the more bitter that they get and the older they get, the more bitter and the more angry that they get, and you're watching as a parent and there's nothing that you can do. And a lot of you are desperate. What can I do, Dr. C? A lot of people send me emails. What can I do, Dr. C? Well, there comes the age of accountability. And these narcissists are adults. They still, they still have the choice to make a choice. Think about it for a minute. A narcissist has a choice not to cut up in front of certain people and they won't do it. Why is that? Because they know that it's not beneficial. So how is it that they choose not to cut up in front of certain people, or they know when they go to work not to act a certain way because they need that job? You need the job so that you put two and two together, knowing that I have to conduct myself a certain way, or there's certain things that you have to do in life, so not to conduct yourself a certain way because it's causing consequences. It's causing you, so you fail at it, and then they don't learn, they evolve. Okay, I can't do that because the last time that happened, it's not a learning process, it's an evolving process. I did that last time and this is what happened. So don't think that they don't have choices that they have to make, but those are their choices. You can't make their choices, Mom, Dad. They have to make choices. And a lot of the choices that they're making, are dysfunctional choices they're living their consequences. But as you know, it'll never be their fault. It's always going to be your fault. It's always going to be somebody else's fault. And so for some of you guys, you just have to realize you can't change them. You cannot change them. There's nothing you can do to change them. They have a personality disorder, and the older that they get, the worse it's going to get. And the more bridges that they're burning. Unfortunately, that is the case. What can you do? For those of you that meditate, you meditate. For those of us that pray, we continue to pray and keep them covered. Prayers are very powerful. Prayers are very powerful. There are a lot of things that could have happened to your children that did not, that could have happened. Some of you guys know, with the climate, nowadays where police are just, and I'm not saying all police, but where police, there's a lot of police brutality and murders and stuff like that. That some of your kids are out there cutting up, acting a fool, and and nothing has happened to them. That's because they had a praying parent, or whatever your belief system is, and that's what kept your children. That is what kept and protected your children. So hopefully this has helped you guys. I just wanted to come on really quick on my way to drop my daughter off at school and on my way to the office, because I know I'm not going to be able to make a video later on. So hopefully this has helped. I apologize. Yesterday I actually did a video and it just didn't load. I looked at my phone and it was still loading this morning, so I had to reload it. So I guess you guys are going to get two for the price of one. You're going to get 2 videos today. So I appreciate you guys. I care about you guys. I think about you guys all the time. Make sure that you go over to my mentor's YouTube channel. It is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. Make sure you subscribe. She provides you with information about narcissist abuse based on a biblical and spiritual perspective. As she provides you with that information, you guys calling all empaths, know that there's an empath conference coming up on October 24th from 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's 4 hours, $80. Stay tuned, because there's a registration link that should be coming coming out this week, so you can register. Some of you guys really need to be on there. She is the host, and she has invited me as a guest. She's going to provide you with some biblical principles and spiritual principalities. Not everybody that is an empath is a believer in Jesus Christ. That is true. However, she's not going to lean over into mysticism and witchcraft. She's going to lean more into the spiritual understanding, the understanding of what an empath is. And empaths are very powerful people that are needed. These are people that have the gift of mercy. These are people that hospital workers, nurses. Mother Teresa was an empath. And so these are the people that we need, and you guys are very powerful. You just don't know who you are. You don't know your gift. You just know that you're different, and you have to stop absorbing so much. You absorb a lot, and so it's really important that you guys come to this conference so you can learn about yourself, so you can grow, so you can heal, so you can understand the gift that you have is not a curse, it's a gift that you have. And so once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I have a book. It's called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. You can find it on Barnes & Noble, or you're on Amazon, and you can order an ebook, or you can get the Kindle or the softback or the hardcover. Those of you that are out of the country, I know some people said that they had problems ordering the book and getting it sent overseas through Barnes & Noble and Amazon. However, you can go to the publisher site, which is Westbow Press, and they will send overseas. You have the holidays coming up. You guys give these as stocking stuffer. Give these to people. Sometimes a lot of you ask, what can I say? What can I say to make them aware of, what is happening and what they're going through? Sometimes you're not able to talk to a person. Sometimes you have too much commonality between you and that person, so it's hard to talk to that person. But if you buy the book, I took the book, and there are people in that book that have lived this, and I wrote it instead of writing it from a clinical perspective and showing you, the DSM version of these symptoms. No, what I did was I told these stories to you. These are real people, real women that went through narcissist abuse, and how they were thinking, how they were groomed, how they grew up, what happened in their families to cause them to be magnetized to narcissists, how the narcissist abused them and their children, what they were thinking. They've had suicide and murder on their mind, and how they got out of it, and the things that they did, and how they were feeling. And so a lot of times, instead of you trying to talk to a person because you have too much common interest with them, so of course you telling them something, you're telling it passionately, and sometimes it's not good for family or friends, to talk to them. Give them the book and tell them to read the book. When they read that book, a lot of times they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this sounds like my story. This is exactly what I've went through. It is Christian based, so I did provide encouragement, biblical encouragement. However, even if you are not a believer in Jesus Christ, the principles of the book is what you need. And I've had many people to say, I'm not even a Christian, but I got the principles out of the book, and I saw my story in that book. I knew, and it's an easy read. It's a quick read. You can read it like in one day if you sit down and read it. But it is just straight to the point and let you know, what you've been through. But I appreciate you guys. If you are interested in coaching, you are always welcome to email me at drcarmenbryan@outlook.com, and I will provide you with my coaching fees and times of availability. Some of you guys need counseling, and I emphasize that over and over again. A lot of you guys need counseling first before you seek coaching, because you need to deal with with PTSD. You need to deal with the trauma. You need to deal with the anxiety and the depression. You need to get a med provider to help you manage those emotions, and then get coaching. And so those of you that are looking for counseling, if you go up underneath my video under YouTube, you'll find betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen. It give you a 10% discount. Also, if you're having financial difficulties, let them know, and they'll provide you with grants to help you so that you can get into some counseling. This is a vetted service. And and I've had some very good reviews from people in Canada. So it's in Canada, even here in the US, and people have really raved about the therapists that they were able to connect with, because they do online counseling, telephonic counseling. And so I really encourage you guys to get counseling. Go through BetterHelp and find a counselor in your area that will provide you with some counseling. When you're vetting the counselors, don't say, do you understand narcissist abuse? Some of them do, but do you understand post-traumatic stress? Do you understand trauma? Do you understand domestic violence? Do you understand parental alienation? Do you understand the after effect of the emotional after effect of being in a domestic violent relationship? Physical abuse. Do you understand the victims of domestic violence? What do you know? You ask them questions, just like people ask me questions. Ask them questions to see what they know, and that's how you vet the counselor. Is there anything that I'm missing? I think that's about it. So you guys make sure you check out my Facebook page too. I'm on different platforms. I'm on Facebook under Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, and I have another one that's Psychological Health Consultants and Services. I put the same thing on a lot of them on Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I also post other things like whenever our church is hosting certain things, because I believe in the whole person concept. I do believe in taking care of your mind, your body, and your soul, your spirit. And so, the whole person concept. And so I do post things. A lot of you guys have not been able to go to your own churches. And so I do, oftentimes you're always welcome to go to online church with Apostle Helen Sadler. She is a senior presiding prelay of Into His Chambers Global Ministries. So she doesn't, her major platform is not just the narcissist abuse. She is a pastor. So she does believe in spirit care, taking care of the soul, the spirit care. And so for those of you that have not been able to go back to your churches, she does online Bible study, online church, so that you guys can be involved and take care of your whole person to heal from this. So once again, I appreciate you. I am on Instagram under Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I don't use that platform that often, but I've been working on it. And so I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate your support. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Talking to you guys. I couldn't come on Sunday, but I'll be back next Sunday, hopefully, as long as I'm not on the road. But I thank you guys for your support, and thank you for caring about me just as much as I care about you guys. So now you guys go and be great.